That terrified me because we don't really have a bad one yet.
Along these roads we roam, we find adventure through traveling, camping, boondocking, and exploring.
Hello everybody and welcome to Vlogcast episode number 45. My name is Russ.
And I'm Kerry.
And we are the roads we roam. We're a couple living full-time in our little guy Max. We do this vlog 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. On Saturday, we have a Faces and Places video where you get to see what we've seen throughout the week and what we've been talking about throughout the week in these daily vlogs as we take a camera with us. We also get 2 opportunities to speak to you live on YouTube. That is Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then again Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
We are reporting from Hernando, Florida.
Yep.
But we are getting back on the road tomorrow. I mean, we're on the road, but we're not mooch docking tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're checking out a different campground, and we've got another harvest host in store for this
I
week.
love those harvest hosts. Those harvest hosts
I'm
are
hooked.
so cool.
So, we're going to have some exciting stuff this week. We pack up. We did our shopping this morning, so the propane issue we had talked a little bit about on our live stream on Sunday.
Yeah, that actually turned out to be it's just the can.
So give a recap real quick.
Okay, so the other day it got cold enough to want to turn the heater on, and then we had never turned it on when we got back. Well, we had never turned the propane on when we got back from the last trip because we really didn't need it. So I went out, tried to turn it on so we could turn the furnace on, and you just hear this shh, and you could feel it. So I'm thinking, I thought maybe it was a hose or something. It was just too dark to see, so I decided to wait for a little bit and wait for it to get light out. So we just ran the space heater. Long story short, I got out there during the daytime and realized that it was something with the can.
Yep.
So,
thankfully, not anything more than that.
Yeah, exactly. So I tested it with a backup can that we had. That was perfect. So went and got a new can, and what was amazing is no matter what state we've been in, we bought propane
everywhere.
In Louisiana, we bought propane in Tennessee.
Well, the swap out.
Yeah. And we've done it in Florida. And it's usually $19 to $20 with tax, At Walmart, we got it for $14.92.
Yeah, that was a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah, I mean, that's like $5 less than anywhere else.
We had done our shopping for our groceries during the day, and we had forgotten about it at first, and we started pulling out of the parking lot, and I mentioned it to Russ, and he said, I'll just get it at the place closer down to the house.
Then we saw $14. We were like, Arr!
Yeah, he pulled right in. I wanted to give a quick thing because I just caught myself doing it. If y'all see me doing this, it's because Russ talks a lot with his hands. And you can't see down below here, but I'm getting like edged by the elbow every 30 seconds.
I didn't realize that.
So it's for my own safety when you see me doing that. It's just his exercise, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm a hand talker.
So, I found something today as I was cleaning and getting everything repacked. And I wanted to share it with you because it brought back good memories. When we were getting ready to get on the road, and just a way for us to stay focused on it and to remind ourselves why we were doing what we were doing. Because the whole downsizing process and everything.
That's the whole reason it stayed there, but that's not the reason you put it up there. You were going on a work trip, and I had a particularly bad day at work. And I was just, I was in a bad mood, had a bad day, and Carrie made this sign, and she left it for me on my mirror, just to remind me.
Hashtag RV life soon.
Yeah, and she was gone. I had dropped her off at the airport, got back from work that day, and I saw that, and I never removed that. That was a good, 4 or 5 months before we even went on the road that you had put it there. It stayed there on the mirror until the day we left.
Yep.
And I didn't even move it. I didn't even because you put it right in the middle where I couldn't miss it. It stayed right there.
Yeah, he just moved over to my sink and got my area dirty after a while. But that brought back good memories.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to pass that along, whether you do a sign, a little sticky note like that or something. if you're thinking of doing this, and it doesn't even have to be doing the RV life. If it's anything that you really want to do, make yourself little notes or little reminders. So that way if you're having a tough day, or just to help keep you focused on it, those little things just make you kind of take a second and go, okay.
I agree.
It's worth it. So that was my little share for
yeah,
the day.
because throughout those 3 or 4 months, you know, when I would have a bad day, I'd see that little sticky up there and I'm like, yep, it's coming. It's soon.
It's coming. And, you know, there are a lot of things that happen that could have made us change our mind.
Yeah.
We could have said, you know, that's just a little bit too crazy for us. We should be doing this instead. But that kept us on it. And I'm a very stubborn person anyway, so we were going to do it.
Oh, yeah, me too. You and I are both stubborn, so, yeah.
So today is our Movie Monday, because on Sundays we actually have time to kind of sit down and watch something.
Yeah.
So we watched the RV Nomads movie.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
So it's an hour and 22 minutes.
Yep.
You can go to the RVnomads.movie.com. You can't see it on YouTube. And it is free, I will say that. But you do have to sign up through their Epic Nomad TV setup that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you sign in to be a member of that, which is free, then you can watch the movie.
Yeah, it's streamed in great quality too.
It's in HD.
Yeah, it was good quality.
Now, a brief summary of it. So they basically interview. It's a documentary style with amazing scenery, great cinematography.
Definitely, yeah.
The sound was fantastic.
You know, I noticed everything was down southwest.
Yes, and it's supposed to have been the time of year that they were filming, I think.
Either that or they had the cast come down to their area so they could be central. Because you saw a lot of, like, the get-togethers and stuff were of the cast, so I'm sure they had them all in the same area there.
Same area at the same time.
Yep. Here goes Abby.
Abby's coming to say hello.
Go back up there.
But
good girls.
What they do is they go through and they interview. There's 11 couples, one single female, and then there's a couple, I guess they are full-time nomads, but they also run the Escapers program.
Yeah. They really didn't show them that much.
No.
It was just a brief thing, I think, because they were sponsors of the show, so it was a way to work them in.
So the main focus were these 11 couples and the female, and they interview them. They have like a seating style, almost like this, where they talk to them. They kind of give their stories about what prompted them, what motivated them, or inspired them.
And I mean, just really everything. Difficulties they faced on the road, how it's affected their marriages or their relationships. You know, one of the most insightful things I heard on that is the one guy said, an RV is an amplifier.
Yes.
He says if you have a loving, great relationship, it's just going to amplify that. It's going to get better. And he says, if you kind of have a rocky, tumultuous relationship, being in such a small area, it could probably get a little bit more rocky. I thought that was such an insightful comment. You know, I love that comment.
They don't go too much into what each person does for their work. Most of them are bloggers, vloggers, or kind of do outside techie type work anyway. And they don't get into the details of what they do for health insurance and all that other stuff.
No, it's just kind of a lifestyle video.
Is. And if you're looking for inspiration and reaffirmation, you know, something that just kind of helps you go over the edge, that's definitely what this does. It gives you a feel-good feeling. The only thing I wish that they had more, you see a brief glimpse of it, where they start talking about certain things with their living situations and they joke a little bit. Yeah. You know, and there's certain, because they talk about just certain situations that if you've spent time living in an RV or even vast amount of times vacationing in an RV, you kind of can relate to the things that these people are going through. I'm not going to spoil it because it's not huge, but it does enhance the movie a little bit. Yeah. And I like those.
You know what scared me was they said, everybody has a poop story. you know, when it comes to the sewer thing.
Yeah, they went through.
And that terrified me because we don't really have a bad one yet. Yeah, the one time I forgot to close the gray tank, but the black tank was closed. So that terrifies me because I'm not looking forward to having a bad experience at the dump thing. I hope we are the ones that don't have a poop
Well,
story.
maybe you got through it. Maybe your gray tank one counts somewhat because it could
Here's hoping.
potentially.
Knock on wood.
But when we saw the RV movie with Robin Williams,
Oh, yeah.
that whole poop.
Yeah, I remember you were over there
I'm
gagging.
gagging.
We were
I
watching it in bed and
couldn't
Carrie's
watch
over there going,
Yeah, I couldn't. But it was funny watching them kind of talk about their stories, and you get to see a little bit of their life. Different people have all different types of RVs.
Yep.
Some big, some small.
yep.
Class A's, trailers.
Yeah, you know, the only thing I wish, though, I wish there was a little bit more of a spread of age. You know, the oldest people might have been in their 50s, their mid-50s. I would have liked to see some older people. They're 60, because they're out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's those 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds that are out there. It would have been nice if they had somebody like that. You know, it was very well covered, probably in that 28 to 45 range, you know? It would have been nicer if they had a little bit of the older group as well, because that's a huge group in this community. You know, I don't know. Maybe they couldn't find anybody who wanted to do it. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, well, it could have also been, traditionally people think of full-time RVers as the older people, over 50
Yeah, maybe they were given
generation.
a little bit different insight.
And they wanted to show the people under 50 or under 60
yeah, I can see that.
it's
Okay.
a completely viable option as well.
Yeah, you know, that's probably a really good point.
So I think maybe that might have been the focus for it at this time.
You know, another thing too about this thing is, if you watch YouTube at all in the RV world, there are going to be couples that you're going to recognize.
Yes.
They had some really big YouTuber names, and then some not so really big YouTuber names. You know, people that I've seen a video of his. And then they also had people that, man, I've seen 100 of their videos. You know, so yeah, I liked it. I really enjoyed it. You know, usually if I'm watching a documentary for an hour and 20 minutes, it's like, oh my goodness, touch the screen. When is this going to end? Okay, so I got 40 minutes. Wow.
Well, but
Not
you know,
so.
we were very heavily engaged in wanting to watch everything that we could before we hit the road, and now we do it as we can. But when you put that, it's kind of all meshed together.
Yeah.
So you get all the people, you don't have to click into multiple videos.
Yeah.
So I think by them kind of grabbing people that other people knew and were somewhat familiar with,
Yeah.
and then kind of showing just the different genres. So you have people with kids, people with one kid, you know, single people. So it kind of covers a good baseline.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can kind of jump off from there. I'm not going to read through the list of all the people, but I will list them all in our notes below.
Yep.
So that way you can see all the different YouTubers that were included in this one. It came out at Nomad Fest, which, if you haven't heard of it, in Wellington, Texas, they had this big gathering. Over 500 people came to it. They did the movie premiere then, and this was right around Halloween time. And then the video itself was released November 15th for the general public to view.
Yeah.
And they were selling it for a little while for $19.99, and now it's available free if you just go to their My Epic Nomad.
So
TV.
do they plan on doing a second
Yes.
Nomad?
Yes.
They do. Excellent.
So they're working on that, and then I think the plan is to release it at the next Nomad Fest, which is
Makes sense.
the end of next October, or this October coming in 2019.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're expecting Nomad Fest to be even bigger.
Yeah,
year.
well, and you know what? I mean, what a great story for Wellington, Texas. You know, a struggling little town like that, and you get all these people wanting to go to it. You know, who knows? Maybe it's the next court site. You know, not really, but you know, it's gotta infuse a lot of capital into that city every single year.
There are so many small towns like that
Yeah.
in and around, or in Texas. that we've
Well,
passed through.
yeah, you can see it. These major freeways that pop up, and they drop. Some of these small towns that kind of lived and died by the highways. They're gone. You and I drove past so many, so many. Small cities that are now just like a house or two. You can see old abandoned gas stations, grocery stores, hotels, and all that stuff. So it's kind of neat that the RV community is going into that small town of Wellington and pumping life back into it.
I wonder what the connection is, what drew them to Wellington.
Yeah, who knows?
I think it's cool that that's going to be the home for Nomad Fest from here on out. So that has got a great start. It sounds like they plan on doing it for years to come.
Yeah, it's a win-win for everybody because the city is welcoming the RVers there because they bring a lot of money. And when the city's welcoming you,
it makes it
a lot easier on you. So yeah, it's a win-win, and that's awesome. All right, guys. Well, that's it for now. Thank you so much for your tips, your comments, your questions. Keep them coming. We use them in our Q&A Tuesday, which is coming up tomorrow. So there are so many ways to get a hold of us.
You can get a hold of us at our blog on theroadsweroam.com. We're also on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, and you can also catch any of the audio versions of our vlogs on our podcast on Spreaker and iTunes.
Yep.
So that's all we have for today. We look forward to talking to you tomorrow, and we'll be on the road.
Yes, I'm so excited.
All right. Good night.
All right. Bye.